Hello friends. In the last session, we have discussed some interview questions from this all interview questions. We have discussed up to what are hooks and about the basic hooks. So in this session, we will cover next. Okay. So start with the what are additional hooks. So we have discussed the three main hooks and what is the hooks and what is the use state hook and use effect and use context. So now we will discuss with additional hooks. Okay. So the next hook is the use reducer. It is same as use state, but only it have reducer which filters based on the dispatched actions. Means इसमें एक switch होता है. This contains a switch, and according to the action passed by the event, we filter out what we have to do. Okay. Next is use callback. Use callback is used when you want to make your component to remember the function. If you have a function and you are passing that function to any component as a prop, then you want to remember that it is the function you want to remember in the memory. Okay, so you can keep watch on variable and remember functions as callback. To remember a function, which function is sent as a if the function is sent as a prop, okay, then you can remember. So it is basically help you in the uh, making a component pure. Okay, so if you make your functional component pure using the MEMO, then you will require use callback when you pass the props inside that memo components. Okay, so what is use memo? Use memo is basically used to store some expensive calculations, large amount of calculations or the calculation inside any nested loop that is stored inside our memory. So what we do, we basically store the complex calculations, nested loop calls inside this use mem so that we will not be use the excessive amount of memory while consuming the while updating the component. So when we re-update the component, it basically hangs if you don't use the use memory in the large complex calculations. Okay, so it basically keep watch on variable and remember the value. Okay. What is use reference? Use reference is the hook which is used in functional component to create the reference of any element or any component, child component or something. Okay. What is use imperative handle? See, basically when you forward your reference from one functional component to another component, you need to forward your reference. So in that case, you can customize your sending object with the help of use imperative handle. Okay. This is used to modify the exposed reference, means what you expose from one component to another. Okay, then you will use the use imperative handle to create the custom object. Okay, to send to another component. What is use layout effect? Basically, this use layout effect is executed once the render is done, but the view is not just completely visually prepared. Okay, so it is the state between the both two. Means the UI is rendered, but UI is not visible right now. Okay, so this state comes in between both them. So if you want to do something there, so you can perform your logic here. Okay, use debug value. It helps in debugging using any variable. Okay, so when you need some help in while debugging your code, you can use with the help of variables inside your function component. Okay, so next question is who derived in which version of React? So basically the functional hooks came in 16.8 version, which was launched in the February 2019. So all the hooks came inside this version. What are component life cycle? So basically if you ask about component life cycle, then you have to focus on the class component. Okay, so these all methods what is here is all for the class component. Means a class component have a life cycle. So the life cycle have been categorized into multiple phases. So I will come to that later. So here is the multiple phases of the life cycle. You can see it here: initializing, mounting, updating, and unmounting. Okay, so in initializing state, you will have the constructor, okay, and the props and state initialization. Okay, so in the mounting, you will get the static get derived state from props. So basically what you get in the props, you can set into your component state in this method. Okay, so you will not get the props inside this one. Okay, you will get the props in this method. Okay, so this is the basically the lifecycle hook for a class component. Okay, so for the next hook is component will mount. Okay, so before mounting it will be called. Okay, and after then the render will be called, which will render your virtual DOM into real DOM. Okay, then after component did mount, basically it does what does the side effect of it is similar to the what you have used in the use effect. Okay, so after it is the after the rendering completes, the component did mount will execute. So this is the step by step calling of this method. So first constructor will be called, then you will get derived state from pop. Okay, then component will mount, render, and component did mount. So this is the mount phase life cycle. Okay, then the next will be updation. So in the updation case, you will get this methods. Okay, from this to this. Okay, this is for updation case. Okay, so component will receive props. Okay, you will have a method or hook here in which the props will be set into. You can set these props inside your state. Okay, then you have a method should component update. So if you forcefully return here false, okay, then your component will behave as a pure component. Otherwise it is true. By default it is true, means impure component. So if you make it true, return the value here false in this method, then your component will behave as a pure component. Now component will update, then render, and then you will have a method called get snapshot before update. Means what this does, you can get your previous value here. Okay, so that if you want to compare or something with the value, you can get this here. Means old state, you can get the old state here. Okay, component did update means after rendering it will be executed component did update. So this is basically for updating life cycle, and this is for mounting life cycle, and this is for initialization life cycle. Okay, page. Okay, and the last one will be the unmounting case. So in this we have only one hook, component will unmount. So before any changes, means if there is any change, then the loaded component will going to destroy, and again all rendering process of the update will be executed, and then it will be called. Okay, so first it will be in the updation case, we will have to unmount. Okay, so basically when you leave any component before updating or going to another page, you can call this one. So this method is used to destroy your memory or unsubscribe your API call. Okay, what is pure component? Basically the pure component is that which doesn't re-renders until and unless its props has been changed. Means if there is no change in the props of this component, then it will not reload it if it is called inside any child component, means parent component. Let's suppose in a parent component there are some virtual DOMs and a child component, and the child component is not a pure component, then it will reload every time if there is any update in a parent component. Okay, so if you want to avoid this to load unnecessarily, if there is no change any in the child component, then you convert your component into pure component. So if you are using the functional component, so in that case you can convert your function component using the help of MEMO. So before exporting your component from the page, you can pass the component inside the memo, and you will be able to convert your function component into pure component. So the next situation is that if you are passing any functions as a props inside your memo component, then there will be issue if you are not using the use callback hook. So you have to use the use callback hook if you want to make it pure component, if you are passing the methods as a props inside your function component. Okay, now this pure component, we will discuss about class component. So in class component you have inbuilt dot react dot pure component. So when you call this one, this will by default be the hook. Which hook? Should component update will be by default false. Okay, in this case, in pure component case. Okay, so if you want to make it as an impure component, then you have to return true by calling this hook. Okay, so basically normally you will just create the react.pure component, means you will extend the means inherit the property of the pure component rather than normal component to create a pure component. Okay, so next question is, what is the use of memo? So we have already discussed what is memo. Memo is just used to convert your normal function component into pure component. Now the next question is, what is error boundary? Error boundary is basically a component, okay, inside which we wrap our required components or parent components, means single component or multiple components inside that boundary. Okay, so we basically wrap all the components that we have to required to wrap, and we just create a error component, and inside that we have two hooks there. Okay, so the hooks are static, get derived state from error. So if there will be any error, we will get in this method, and we can set to this state, means this class state. Okay, and we have a component did catch. So if there will be error, and after render, this will be executed. Component did catch. So basically, what will happen inside the error boundary? If you create an error boundary, you will just create a component, and you will just call these two methods. So these are the basically lifecycle hooks of the error lifecycle of a component. Okay, so you can remember these two hooks which used to create your or error boundary component. Okay, and we will just pass as a child whatever the component have to be wrapped between this error boundary. Okay, so this basically helps you to catch the error occurred in all the components which you have wrapped between them, and you will have to write like this. Means error boundary is, let's suppose error boundary is this one, and we have some component in which we have to keep watch on the error. So this we have the component here. So we have the normal component, functional component or class component, and this will be the error boundary component, and we will just use these two hooks inside this one, this error boundary, which will be we create. Okay, so the benefits of error boundary is that it will catch all the errors whatever the component will be passed for that component. Okay, and it will, and you can also show your on the custom UI in place of that component if there is some error. Let's suppose if there is error, you can show some message in place of that error component. Okay, so the next question is, what is render props? So see, there is some scenario arises in our React application in which, let's say, there is a parent component and there is a child component. So the let's suppose there is some value inside your parent component, input value, input tag is inside the parent component, and inside the child we will use that value which will be entered in the input tag. Okay, so this is the dependency with the child. Okay, so child is using the value which was entered in the parent input. Okay, but the situation is that if you have to use the parent components, and you can have multiple different type of scenario for the child components. Okay, so let's suppose if you write the child component inside directly inside your parent component, then you can't replace the with another child component if you want the same scenario with the parent input tag in any other case. So to overcome from this rewritable means unnecessary writing of codes, we write simple render props type of scenario. So in render props, what we do, we will create the separate parent, okay, with, and we will just pass the whatever the value you will have to use in your child, okay, and we will just render that value outside. Okay, and we will just wrap that child component dynamically when we call. Okay, and we will use that rendered value, whatever the rendered value from the parent we will get, we will use inside that. Okay, so this is the basically the render props. So you can see example like you have an input. Okay, so the input, let's suppose you want to create a calculation like feet to meter and feet to inch. Okay, if someone enters some value in feet, you have to convert into with meter, and one child component which will convert your this into inch. So you have a feet as a parent component. Okay, and one there will be one child called inch, and there will be some component called meter. Okay, so in this scenario, what we will do, we will have these two will use the data of the feet which will be entered by the user. So for that scenario, we will create the render props for this feet, and we will wrap this one, okay, like this inside that feet. Okay, and similarly we will just call the similarly with the help of, we can also call the meter as well here. And what we will use the render props here. Okay, so the rendered value will be also used, whatever the rendered value will be there, whatever the value will have to use, you can just pass it here and you can use it here. Okay, so this is the basically use of how to use and how we use. Okay, so like this you will call the meter, and similarly you will get the render value here. Okay, let's suppose this is the value, and you can just pass the value inside your meter, whatever the value will be used. Okay, so similarly you will have here inch for inch. Okay, so for what we have that we have just so we have just created the inch. Okay, so we have created the render props for feet, and we have executed the render, and then inside the render we call the inch, and same feet is there with meter. Okay, what are portals? See, basically portals are basically uh, used to handle the event bubbling if your DOM is out, means the uh, event DOM is, whatever the clicked event DOM is outside the root of the root tree of your React application. Let's suppose you have your application, whole application inside this div, and all the root inside is the root. So your all application is inside this div, rendered inside this. So let's suppose if there is some pop-up which is a third party and you have inbuilt integrated with like model pop-up. Okay, and the model pop-up had some buttons and events. Okay, some have UI inside this one, but your root application is this one, and this is not your React application. This is rendered outside your root tree architecture. So if you want to listen the click events from this model to into this root, you have to create your portals. So basically create portals, you have to, you can see it here, portals in React. You can use the create portal, react DOM dot create portal. In this case, you can return like this, create portal, and this is your children, whatever you have been wrapped, and this is the DOM node in which you have to bind. Okay, so example is that you have the main root, React root, and this is the model root. Okay, so we create a model. Okay, and we have like this, we have logic like this, we have to create portal. This is the children what we will pass, and this is the element where we will bind this. Okay, so this is basically the create element. We have created an element div. Okay, and we have used the model root, which is the model root, and we have just bind this UI inside this model root. Okay, but if you wrap any component inside this model, see, like this model, and this is the child element. Okay, so if you bind this like this, then the events inside this child will be listened by this whole means whole component DOM. Okay, so this basically works as a bridge between these two main roots. Okay, this is the model root, and inside this click, if there is any click, it will listen inside this. Okay, so you can go for the deep, if you don't have deep knowledge in the portals, you can go on the React site and you can just see the example. So basically we create a bridge between the outside div with the root div of the React. Okay, and we can listen the events inside our root if we create the portal for the model. Okay, so now what is the differentiate between stateful and stateless component? See, functional component is by default a stateless component. Okay, and a stateful component is that which maintains its own state. Okay, so this is called basically the stateful and stateless component. So we make the stateless component that is stateful using the hook. Okay, so what are the different phases of React components lifecycle? Okay, so the different phases of lifecycle we have discussed already. We have initializing phase, mounting phase, updating phase, and unmounting phase. Means on the first call of the component, we will initialize and mount. Then if there will be any change, then the updating phase will execute, and if you are leaving that component, then unmounting will be executed. So we will just place this one before that, so that it will be easily related. Okay, so next question is, so we will discuss up to this one in this session. In next session we will discuss later from this one. Okay, so what are synthetic events in React? See, basically synthetic events is called a wrapper. Okay, wrapper because it wraps over the cross-browser native event. Means if you know about HTML, it has a on-click event, click event, key press, mouse over. These all the normal native events. But we create a wrapper events on that, okay, on that native event like on click, on key up, on mouse over. So these on click, on mouse over are called the synthetic events, which are used to create a wrapper on the HTML native event. Okay, so up to this we are closing this session. So next session we will discuss from this one. Okay, okay. Thanks for watching this session. Okay.